So I'm making more notes. I like to make notes to refer to when I'm talking about the games. Also, our subs have gone up. 122 now, boys. So we've gone up 8 in a week.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
you would think.
And also our Instagram's gone up heaps too. So growth everywhere, boys. Um, oh yeah. I'm not going to make any more notes. I'll just wing it. I've added a news article for Thursday already as well that I want to cover off.
It's Miles' birthday. I won't be here Thursday.
Oh shit! I'm not going to be here Thursday. I'm going to Geelong. I forgot about that. Just you, Eggster. I'll see if Turtle wants to jump on. I'll send you the tips. I'll still put in like a couple of things in there for news. Why is this not loading for me? How old's Miles now?
4. Turns 4 Tuesday, I think. Tomorrow.
Lovely.
Is tomorrow the 6th? No, the 4th. The 4th, I think. I think it's Thursday. But Heidi's the week after, so we're going for both of them.
Yeah, sweet.
So he's
Um,
the 4th. Heidi's the next Tuesday. That's where I got Tuesday from.
hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, guys.
4 thumbs up.
On the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm good.
Actually, I am ready tonight. And I'm even going to do Artie a favor.
Where we're at, TNT.
In the land of footy madness where the crowds collide, Taz, Todd and Egi, we're ready for the ride. Taz rocks the blues with Crips in his heart. Viewers' questions coming now, that's just the start. Goals and speckies in the heat of the game. AFL glory, yeah, it's all the same. TNT Footy, we're living the dream. With Taz, Todd and Egi, we're a winning team.
G'day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of TNT Footy. Just thought we'd give you a bit of a pre-show, what we talk shit about there.
Yeah.
Just pre-warm up, boys.
Yeah,
Pre-warm up.
Glad I was on mute then.
So, as always, I'm Taz. Next to me in the middle, we've got Moisty. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, mate. And you? How are
I
you
am
boys?
excellent. Thank you for asking. I'm bald, and I'm not going to say beautiful, but I am bald. And Eggy at the end there. How you doing, bud?
I'm very well, thank you.
Recovered from Saturday night?
It was Saturday afternoon. Yes, recovered from Saturday afternoon. Didn't make the Pies game live, but I ended up watching it on the third time lucky on Sunday morning.
Why third time lucky?
Because I tried at 2 a.m, but then ended up passing out again.
Yeah.
Because I passed out at 6 p.m. and didn't miss the game.
Missed the game, so then
Yeah.
went to the next one.
Yep,
Few
try.
too many G ups.
No, I was on the hard rated solos. We were having the cans, and then we decided, oh, we may as well start drinking by the jug. And that, yeah, it went
And then just kicked on.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Look, we've got a jam-packed show tonight. So we're going to go through all the results from the round 16 or from round 16, as we always do. We've got Moisty's controversial call. I'm looking forward to that tonight. We've got Woo Girls, Where Are We? Viewers' questions. We'll provide an update on the tipping, but we also have a very special guest joining us.
We do.
We do. It's going to be a very big show.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it too. So
before we get into that, I just want to say hello to Hugh, Jolie, Zoe, Taz and Todd. They're already on the show. Brody, George, and Turtle. Thanks for all dropping by.
Figured they could hear us, so we may as well comment as well, you know.
Yeah.
And for those that didn't hear the pre-live show, if you haven't already, please like this video.
Like, subscribe, follow the Facebook, the TikTok, the Instagram, and YouTube. We're trying to get to 600 followers to give away that St Kilda jersey.
Got a question for you already, mate. Artie wants to know how far you're running this week.
No, well, I've already done 2Ks, but it was a struggle. I haven't run in like a month and a half because of my eyes. So it was a real big struggle getting through 2Ks, but I've got 12 to go.
Beautiful.
Oh, they lose by 14 goals today.
That was a lot.
Yeah, lost by a lot. But Artie, I never want to hear you complaining about your long free kicks again. Just saying, I haven't watched Horse Live much, but there was a few in there. You always get a few. I think you do very well.
All right. On that note, let's get stuck into the round review, guys. So started on Thursday night. It was really shit. Let's be honest. It is what it is. Carlton are in a horrible position right now, and made Port Adelaide look like a top 4 team.
They did. I might touch on them a little bit later as well.
Yeah, well, I just think that's Carlton's a bottom 4 team. Lucky they had that 6-week period where they turned it on, or they'd probably be sitting down with West Coast.
Absolutely.
Richmond would be in front of them.
They're not tanking because they've got no first-round pick. But actually, before we move on to that, Carlton's game plan, it's very, very old school. So it's very contested. It doesn't work in the modern game.
Yeah, but see, it used to with Geelong, but then everyone learned how to play Geelong after they won that flag. So everyone knows how to stop that now because Geelong was so good with it for 2 years. Everyone had to learn how to beat that. So you can't just recycle a used game plan and expect it to work because everyone knows how to beat it.
Absolutely. And I can't remember who said it, but it might have been David King, came out and said that this game plan that Carlton and actually Melbourne would have worked really well when Melbourne won the flag. They won it using the same game plan. They haven't progressed with the times. They've still got the same game style. Carlton have got that game style now. It doesn't work in 2025.
Well, it can't. It used to before the 666. You bring the 666 in now, and it's speed on ball. You need speed on ball. You've got to outscore teams. There's no defense doesn't win games anymore. It's offense.
Yep, absolutely.
You could say by that, the Melbourne's probably got the best defense in the league. And maybe Collingwood as well, but Collingwood's got a good offense as well. But Melbourne has no offense, but an elite defense, and it just doesn't win games. Same with St Kilda. Their defense is really good, and they throttle the ball, but teams have just got to score 10 goals. They beat St Kilda.
Yeah, correct. Look, Port had Rose off half-back. He was electric again. I've stole your word, Moisty. I'm sorry.
Electric, mate.
Butters was his brutal best, and he was actually getting in the face of the Carlton players. There's actually even footage of him saying your club's shit or your team's shit or something to that effect at one point. So it's
to be honest, I only watched the end of this game, so I didn't put a movie on and stay up later. That's the only reason I watched that last quarter is so I could go to bed after it.
It was horrible. Carlton got a few junk time goals again in that second half, but look, Bergman, I thought he used his speed off Cripps really well, and because he was tagging Cripps.
He was tagging Cripps, yeah, and
he just ran off.
Had a woeful, but I think Cripps was still sick. I don't know why they played him. I really hope they rest him, Wiedering. Start getting players right for next year. If you plan on having them next year, they might not plan on having them next year. I don't know what's going on at Carlton, but there's someone coming in to rebuild the club. I've heard.
I reckon bring Lemmy in. Lemmy should get a go. Bring Campo boys in. Blood some more youth. But I heard something before we went live about Bergman boys.
Oh, what'd you hear?
He is on the verge of signing a 2-year extension with Port Adelaide.
Oh,
Take him through the free agency.
Yeah, so
I know a
that
few
was
St Kilda fans that aren't going to be happy with that.
officially dropped about half an hour ago by Cal Toomey. Good guy, Cal.
yes,
He
yes.
is. Well, you've met him in person, haven't you? Oh, well, we'll move on to the next game because that game was a pretty dead and buried game. I don't think we give Port Adelaide chocolates for that. It's just Carlton just
No.
didn't get in. But the next game was a cracker, Sydney
It was
versus
very good.
Bulldogs. And Sydney
Loved
kicked
it.
themselves out of it again.
Yes.
Well,
Well, they're saying they're complaining about the ground.
they had 26
Well, the
scoring shots.
ground's woeful. The ground was like where they had that stage, they had about 15 people slip over in that one spot.
Yeah, it was horrible. I think I even posted in our chat saying the ground is disgraceful. But I actually, there was 26 scoring shots to 25. So it wasn't that far away
Yeah, but they
from...
kicked like 1-6 in the last, wasn't it?
It
Something
was pretty
woeful
poor in the end.
That was
Like,
just that was just Marty. Oh no, was that the week before? My bad.
that was
yeah.
a Marty the week before, but
Yeah.
I think, what we end up scoring in the last, but I don't even know.
While you're
But
looking
that's
that
it.
up,
So 2 goals, 3 in the last, but that's not as bad as I thought it was. But 2 goals, 3 to 2 goals, 3. So even last quarter.
the
A
biggest
lot worse than that.
talking point though out of this game was Mini Bont, Fraser.
Mini Bont. He's been Mini Bont for a
Huge.
while.
23 disposals and 4 goals. Absolute massive game from him. Huge breakout game. Best game of his career so far.
Beautiful.
So, and how do you think he would feel getting called Mini Bont from the Bont himself?
Mini Bont, but he's had that Mini Bont for a year. I think he's had that nickname.
Oh, has he?
They've been calling him Mini Bont for a while. They knew what he was going to be. They knew how he was going to be and how he was going to produce.
Oh, I love it. Look, I'm going to catch up on chat if that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
So,
but before we do that, I just want to say thanks to Michelle Kinsella for subscribing.
thank you very much, Michelle. We really appreciate it. So we've got
Thank
here.
you, a fan. I'm hoping.
Hugh Tanner's got give it to Zoe. Zoe's got little love heart hands. I think that is. My eyes aren't great for there, and even though I've got glasses. Brian Wells, hi boys, and Taz. What are you trying to say, Wellsy? That's a bit harsh now. Artie's got free kick galore last quarter. Basically got Pies 4 points. We'll come back to that. Tiger time, evening fellas. Welcome, mate. George, Carlton's game plan at the moment is get the ball and handball or kick to opposition. Blake Mitchell, love you, Will. Best on ground.
Oh, thanks, Blake.
Is that from Saturday, I'm assuming?
Could be, but yeah, that's my brother-in-law. That one.
He'll be any time, mate. He's always best on.
Tiger time, SCG turf is the worst in the AFL. It's pretty poor.
It's only because of that. They had that concert there, and since they've had that concert and re-turfed it, it's been no good.
Yeah,
So
they've got to be careful.
Like they had 4 weeks off, or 3 weeks off the stadium because they had a concert there, and they can't get the turf right.
It's not good. It's really, really poor. Brian Wells Grundy, mate, he has been dominating my super coach. I'm glad I didn't trade him. Hugh Tanner, Sydney Dogs was a banger. And then Tiger Time, the amount of players slipping on the SCG was mind-numbing. It was horrible, but there was another game where slipping was just as bad, and we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next game, though, we've got Gold Coast and Melbourne. The Gold Coast just flex a bit up there at home.
They did. Just in their fortress, they showed last year how good they were at playing there. But yeah,
And the
I don't know.
ball, Matty Rao, up and firing again.
Just
Sorry.
Melbourne up forward. I just don't see it.
My
Oh,
dog's
well,
just
that's the
through.
problem. So we've got the defense, but just no offense.
Yep.
They've got that contested game style as well. Talk of the town is that Bailey Fritsch might be shopped around, but he's their only decent forward.
And even he's not that decent.
Correct. I wouldn't call him a key forward either. He's more of your medium-sized forward.
But you can have teams with medium forward. So you look at Collingwood, they do it perfectly. I don't think they really have a big key forward. They've got a lot of the medium and a few smalls, but who would you call a key big forward in that forward line?
True.
So the medium forwards can work, apart
they
from
can.
Coxie.
Well, Melksham kicked 5, and that's what Turtle said there. He goes, letting Melksham kick 5 is a sign Gold Coast are no good or no threat. I disagree. I think he played a really good role on McAndrew.
Yeah, well, McAndrew looked to intercept and he just ran off him a bit, didn't he?
Yeah,
Did a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. Wells has got here, I still love you, but you should go get a North membership. I've got one.
I was going to say, funny that you've already got one.
Right, we have so many North Melbourne memberships. If anyone wants one, we're shopping them around. I have about 15. You can have a lanyard and everything. I've got like 4 sitting on the desk right here next to me.
You're still receiving them, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I've told them to stop. I called them. When they called me to get a bit more out of me, I said, have we got any more on the way? And I said, yeah, there's about 4 or 5 guys. I said, stop sending them. I said, I've got enough. I said, I've already got like 12 lanyards. I don't need any more.
Back to the game. So, Cozzy Pickett, he was huge for Melbourne. 25 disposals and 3 goals. His speed in the middle definitely helps, but I don't think is the answer.
No, see, I think they because of the style they play, they're defensive, then they kick long. They can't do that because they don't have a forward. They don't have a forward that can mark unless they're kicking long to Gawn. Gawn can do it, but you don't play Gawn forward.
No.
So if they still had the Jackson Gawn, maybe that could work, but they don't have that anymore. You've got to change your game style because you've got medium to small forwards and you're kicking long every time.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed 100%. For Suns, their ball movement was sleek. It was quick. It was slick. John Noble, that rhymed. I didn't even mean that. John Noble, 29 disposals was massive for them again. 624 meters gained as well.
That pairing of Noble and Rioli off the half back has been electric this year, and it's got them a few extra wins, I think.
Yeah, well, even Rioli's been getting a few goals every a goal. I think he's averaging maybe a goal every second game.
That's unreal for a halfback flanker.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's unreal. And I really like watching him play. I don't know about you guys, but I like watching Gold Coast.
No, they're quick, they're young, they're kids too. And I've always liked Gold Coast, only because of Matty Rao. But
yeah.
Yeah. And the move of Jeffrey to halfback's really starting to pay dividends as well.
Yeah.
He looks quite composed with ball in hand. All right, we'll keep moving through. So next game is Hawks and North Melbourne.
Hawks and the Cones.
This was the other game I wanted to talk about players slipping over.
Oh, okay.
It was just North players though.
It was. Some Hawthorn players were, not as many as North. So I don't know if that was a stops issue.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what they were talking about, boots or grounds, but I don't know. They reckon there was going to be a big hot topic in the AFL.
Yeah,
this week was the
studs.
Maybe we can ask our guest as well what his thoughts are.
Yep.
Yeah, like whether it's the boots or the grounds, but apparently the grounds are all like that ground's normally pretty good, so I wouldn't think it'd be the ground, but it was real dewy in that, so it might have been the stops. But you're not allowed to have certain stops anymore.
Yeah, but some of them have been wearing them because they just cop the fine if they get caught, because it's just so much better on the foot for them. So much you get a bit more traction.
And then you get things like Darlin on the weekend. He got done with those stops. Just
did he?
Sliced down the leg.
The week before,
there's a big gash down the front of his shin.
Yeah, it was similar to what happened to, was it Quaynor that ended up with the quad slice?
Yeah, Quaynor right down the middle of his thing, but they had to hold that together. That was a real bad one.
No, that was Hawthorn Wellesley. He said he thought North had the bye.
Yeah, no, Hawthorn got an easy win this week, playing against the Whistler Coast, but they were just stronger in the contest, bodied us. They do it real well. They shut down they're like uncontested possessions. That's what Hawthorn shut down really well, and the free uncontested possessions. And that's how North are trying to play their games now, and they were just too quick, Hawthorn, too strong. And when they shut that down, North had no answer.
Yeah. There's lots of talk about Gunston and Scholl and, how they dominated and everything, but you guys don't have a defence.
No, there's not. And with Comben going down, that's our interceptor. So he's our key back that sort of runs the show back there as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Look, Hugh Tanner's right. He said Gunston is having a year. He definitely is. He definitely deserves to go around again. He's another one I've got in my draft team, and he's been averaging anywhere between 85 and 100 in Supercoach. It's huge for a forward. It's absolutely amazing. So, Wellesley's they were insane, Todd, crazy good. Were they that good, or was North just that poor as well?
No, they were. They shut down the ground real well, and they won the ball out the middle real well. And you know how good North has been out the middle this year against like other good midfielders, but they just got dominated all day. Couldn't win it out of the middle. And then Hawthorn, once they got control of the ball and they shut down North switch real well, no free run, no movement. They just couldn't get going. There was like
Jeez.
patches of 4 or 5 where they went long down the middle north, and when they got through, but you've got to get through.
Yeah. True. And I guess the other highlight from this game was potentially goal of the year nomination for the Wizard.
Yes.
Yeah, the Wizard out the middle there.
Yep. So he's before the weekend, he'd attended 5 centre bounces, and he attended 4 on the weekend alone. So I think they're trying to build his engine to start running him through there a bit more, a bit like Cozzy Pickett, get a bit more speed going through there.
Yep.
All right, we'll keep moving on so we don't run out of time. The next game we got here was your boys, Egi, Pies and Eagles.
Eagles. It was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, but yeah.
It was actually a cracking game up until about 3/4 time.
It was.
I want to bring something up in this though. The holding the ball. I must be completely lost because there was a span of about 10 seconds there where I forget who it was, got taken on a full 360 around, dropped it, nicked his toe on the boot. Someone picked up the ball, got tackled holding the ball like instant.
Oh.
Yeah, have you boys not seen that?
No.
There's a big West Coast have asked Clarence for clarification from the umpires as to what holding the ball is because, one of the Pies got taken on a full 360 around. I forget who it was, but full 360 around the ground. And then Eagle picked up the ball, had one pinned, and it was holding the ball within like half a turn.
I did hear that they were getting a please explain for clarification.
That was from that bit. Like, it was a full,
Right.
like they had 3 people tackle in the Collingwood and he done full 720 and they let like 1, 2, 3, then got the handball off. It was all fair. West Coast got given a second and it was holding the ball.
The really poor thing is that the umpires came out before the season started and said, right, this is going to be a focus. If you're spun in a 360, it's holding the ball.
Yeah,
they said that
he
before the
took
season
full
started.
2 tours of the jury.
Yeah, see, that's frustrating when it's when they're not sticking. Look, I get it. It's a very hard game to umpire. Fully am aware of that. But I just feel like every week there's something.
But go watch that clip when everyone gets a chance. Go watch it. You can watch it in one clip. It'll be that close together. He's literally handballed the ball to an Eagle and then gets pinned. It's that close together. You can get it in one clip. But it's how do you not pay that and pay that? It's the same umpire, same area. Everyone was going mental. They're like, how do you not pay this one and then you pay that one?
Question I've got for you. What about the tackle on side bottom where he scraped his head on the ground and turned out looking like the old Ronaldo from Brazil?
Yeah, did he get caused that? I'll see that after. I'm like,
it looked like
his head, but it was either a bruise or some paint. Maybe Egi
Well, he had one arm pinned, had the ball in the other one, and he was sort of trying to stop himself. But I don't know why I didn't. And again, it's hard to know, but he didn't put his head back, maybe because he was going to hit his face. So he's gone head first, and the top of his head is grazed on the ground.
Just scun it a bit.
He got pinged for holding the ball, but I wasn't sure if it should have been a dangerous tackle if we're trying to prevent that.
But he did that. It wasn't as if
because his arm was pinned though.
Yeah, but then he dove forward.
Oh, so he should drop the ball, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
True.
That's what they're saying. They're saying drop the ball and it's not holding the ball.
Yeah,
it's the stupidest rule. It used to be dropping the ball that does not exist anymore.
Yep.
Now they're saying you tried. All you got to do is try to get rid of the ball. Throw it anywhere near your foot, you're fine.
Do you want to catch us up on chat, Egi?
Yes, Turtles put Pies did what they needed and kicked the last 12 or 14. 12 of 14, sorry. They had control the entire game and put the foot down when needed. Target time, the holding the ball has been rather inconsistent at times throughout the season. Jolly's put sup. What's up, Jolly? Artie's put several other ones too, and all went Pies' way. Sounds like you're a bit salty, Artie. Scott just sent you to the clip on Instagram. All right, we'll have a look at that.
Yeah, no, that's the only one I wanted to bring up. Like, I thought the umpiring, not good, but it wasn't bad either way. It was bad for both, but that was just one clip you could catch into. It was literally 5 seconds after each other, and you're like, how do you pay that and not pay that?
Bloody hell. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Dacos boys obviously went big again. Both of them. Josh Dacos had 524 metres gained and Nick had 707. But the boy I want to touch on, Tom McCarthy.
Yes.
Mate, huge. He's been two games. This is the best two games on debut we've ever seen.
Second. I thought it was his third. My bad.
Second. They had a bye in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely dominating. So we come out and got, 33 touches the first week. And now he's come out and got 29 in two.
And a goal,
games.
didn't he?
No,
No goal.
goal this
no
week?
goal.
No, I didn't kick a goal this week. But
No
yeah,
goal.
so I dare say him and the Flying Viking will be coming into sides this week on Supercoach.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I think he should have come in last week. If he didn't come in your side first,
No, you wait for him to
waste.
get on the bubble,
Yeah,
mate.
you-
On the
you
you
bubble.
don't have
you
to
gotta
wait
make-
for him
you
to
gotta- you gotta-
bubble. He was always turning up again this
Well,
week playing for that
you don't know.
side.
You got to make sure he's playing. Otherwise, you're bringing like I got Lewis Camperelli, I got McDonald, and they've only played 2 games.
You're
Yep.
not going to bring in a
Yep.
33 possession for Westco. First time it's happened all year. You're not going to drop him the week after. he's in that side
Hey,
for the
there's
rest of the
always-
year.
there's
He can
always
get one
injuries,
patch
there's
next
always
week and
injuries.
he's still in there.
I always wait for him to be on the bubble. I really do. With Tom McCarthy, the thing I liked about him though is he got 29 touches. He went at 72%. Just
But
over.
he uses the ball well. Yeah,
That's
as
what I
you were
mean.
saying, like uses the ball well and makes good decisions. It's not a 33 handball, get the quick 1-2. It's he gathers his 33 and he's in good positions and he distributes it rather than the 1-2 or the accumulators in the league.
I think it's huge. And let me ask you this. West Coast, over the past probably 4 to 6 weeks, have actually shown a lot more fight and been a lot more competitive.
Yeah. They
Do
have,
you
like,
think Reed will still leave or
Mate.
stay?
or
He's already. I've heard the 2 years done.
No, not done yet. Not signed.
I've heard he's staying. I could near on guarantee he stays for 2. He'll go through to another 2 years.
I think it'll be great if he stays. It'll be great for the club. It'll be great for the culture.
I heard the 2 year was just about done deal.
Beautiful. That's great news for Eagles. So we'll have to make sure we keep an eye on it and share.
That's
it
on the
as
grapevine though. That's
Yep.
not me with any knowledge at all. But
well. On the grapevine, hey?
yeah,
Love it. All right, we'll keep moving through. We've got 2 games to go.
another disappointing game. Richmond Adelaide. It was a bit of a one-sided.
yeah,
swap.
well, we thought it was going to be like coming up against a top 4 side. Was it? I don't actually know if Adelaide are a top 4 side, but I know they're up there.
They're
Up
top
in-
4, yeah.
Yeah.
They're 3rd, I think.
Yeah. Just Richmond do show signs of against lower teams, but yeah, Adelaide,
big-
Brisbane, Geelong, and Collingwood just blown teams
Just
out
too
of the
good.
park.
Before we touch on the big incident from the game, Sam
Oh,
Banks had an
yes.
absolute cracking game.
Banksy.
Yep.
He's been awesome this year.
No, good. It's his 2nd year, I think, but he's been flying along.
Yeah, really good pickup. And like you said, they have shown a lot of good signs.
Curtin was another one. I think he got. He didn't get Rising Star. What did
Curtin
he get
was
this one?
Outstanding.
I
mate.
got the
26
10 coaches votes. That's what it was. He got the 10 coaches votes this week.
26 disposals, 2 goals, 495 meters gained, 5 tackles. This was 8 marks. This was his breakout game.
Breakout game. Let's
Yeah.
hope he can keep going with it too.
Just hope so.
Well, he's played every game this year, so he's starting to get that consistency now.
Well, Adelaide were holding him out last year, and I think
Correct.
since Walker retired, that opened a bit of a space.
Walker hasn't retired.
No, who'd retired there? No, they didn't have
Sloan.
anyone retire.
Sloan.
How
That
did
was
he
a
get in
couple of years
there?
ago. They just got picked.
Just got picked. Just worked real hard. Who am I thinking of retired? There's got to be
I
someone.
don't know. I think you might have to retire.
Yeah, might be bedtime.
We'll keep moving through. You've
What about-
thrown me
You
Just
want to top
before we
on
leave
Lynch?
on
You
that,
want to
the
top
big
on
Tom
Lynch?
Lynch, the big haymaker into the back of the head. What do we think of that, boys?
not good for the game.
Not good
That's
for the
got to
game. no.
got to be 8 weeks, doesn't it?
Well,
I think he
yeah.
instantly gets 5 now that it's gone to the tribunal.
Well,
but-
I think technically it's 3 because there's no concussion, but because of the act, I think that there is a overruling factor that they can bring in if they want to make it 5 or 6.
Can they bring the other incident in? Because he got reported for one where there was 2 swings at 2 different players.
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't
he
even
got
know
a
there was
few
2.
punches on the ground late too, but
Hmm.
I think it's got to be 8.
I think he retires.
Yeah, I don't
You-
think. Yeah, if he gets 6 or 8, I don't think he comes. Oh, I don't know. He might come back next year, but
I just don't think
for
his
what
body's up.
purpose though? Yeah,
His body's not up for it anymore. He's been a superstar for Richmond. Like, he's been such a good forward, but the last 3-4 years, his body's really let him down.
and what's he next year? He's going to come back and they're going to struggle again, and he's going to get whooped every week again. Or does he really
Correct.
want to go through that?
Correct. So he, I think the biggest highlight from him, and not talking about the reporting incident, was he was on negative 15 fantasy points at halftime.
That's not a highlight.
Low light, should I say? Low light. All right, we'll keep moving through. So
Last game, absolute
last
cracker, boys.
game.
I don't
This
know
was
if you boys
actually-
watched this, but I watched this game start to finish.
I
Can't watch
thought
it.
I thought the Dogs Sydney game was better, but I thought this was right up there for second best game of the round.
Yeah, the Fremantle St Kilda. Both poor shots at goal, but it was like people were saying it was a shit game. But I was actually excited. I thought they were running, they were moving the ball pretty well. The defenses were both holding up.
Flying
Exceptionally
Viking was
well, but-
unreal.
Yeah,
We had
I was
14
just,
spoils or 13 spoils or something.
I just kept checking the scores, and I thought coming into the end of the third, I thought St Kilda were going to win, but then Freo came out with a bang in the last.
Well, Freo were down by 14 in the last at one point, and then they just went crazy.
Yeah.
Jackson and Darcy teamed up extremely well, rotating through ruck and forward. And there was even a centre bounce where Darcy was in the ruck and Jackson was roving.
Oh, yep.
And what about goal of the year from Marshall? You boys seen it?
That was huge.
No, I
Holding him off on the ramp, just a little soccer tap through.
I hadn't seen it. All I get were message. Zoe actually sent me a message saying goal of the year, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It was
By
good.
who?
I think that it wasn't even goal around, to be honest.
I was pretty good to do that in the ruck contest.
It was good, but we had the wizard running out of the middle.
True.
Handball, punch, handball. So that was electric out the middle. But not saying it was bad, but
What's the electric count up to, Eggy?
I'm not
actually,
sure.
I've only said it about 3 times, mate.
I was
tonight.
looking at chat. Hugh Tanner's got Freo Saints was great. Marshall goes well by Zoe. Freo best Saint was good to watch. Says Tiger Time. Hugh Tanner's got 14 spoils. Zoe's like it's so. Hugh Tanner's got Jackson's fourth was silly good. Tiger Time 6 wins in a row now for Freo. Ooh.
Yeah, they're on the
they're
march.
They're sort of grinding wins, though. They shouldn't have 3 of them, but they've found a way to get over the line.
That's good. That's what you need to do. That's what Brisbane did
Yeah.
last year.
That's it. Just got
Didn't
to
have
get over
it
there.
done.
But where are they? Oh, they're sixth.
No, they're right in the hunt now. They're right in the
Yeah.
hunt.
Yeah, they're six. But I think only top 9 can make it now. I think Port down are out. Port are on 28 points. GWS
Port down
on
and out
36.
have been out since. The only one in there I can see, but maybe not Sydney now. If they had a limped over the line last week, I could see them charge home, but maybe not now because they've got a couple of back again this week.
Yeah, Sydney's starting to get all
Get
their
all their
players
players
back. And it just shows how important those players are, Goulden and Papley and everyone.
But they're
Yep.
3 wins behind, so and percent. So
When
it's
do
gonna be a long.
Collingwood start resting?
Well,
Two and a half
they've
games.
got
They can already, really.
8 weeks left, or 8 games left. So I reckon
Well,
near the end.
This week they could probably have nearly another bye.
Yeah, pretty
We'll
much.
have to, we'll have to
First half,
go look through the draw and that. But yeah, I
You
reckon.
got Carlton this week, but that'll be a walk in the park. That'll be witches' hats.
I
And then
reckon.
got North in a couple of weeks too.
I reckon you need a couple more weeks in them. You want like maybe a week or 2 off for them for the older ones, but you want them with like 4 or 3 games before coming into finals.
Yeah, leading in, so they're back
Yeah.
up and running again. You don't
Yeah.
want to have a bye before finals and have another bye. And
Yeah. Then it
Love
being
it.
21 days since they play a game.
All right, that's the round review, guys.
That's the round review.
It is.
You know what that time's for.
yeah, time for the special guest.
Absolutely. Cannot wait. So before we bring Mick into the stream, people watching along, if you've got any questions for Michael, just post them out and we'll ask him once we've finished asking him a few questions. So we might even ask him along the way. All right. So I've just admitted him now, so he should appear at some stage. I'll
There he
change the
is.
view around. How do I do this?
Where are we going to put
Turn
me top
immersive
left?
off and then turn it back on again.
Hey, there we
There
go.
it is.
There he is.
G'day,
Hey,
guys.
Mick,
Thanks
how
for
you
having me
going,
on.
That's right. Thank
No
you.
worries. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it a lot, mate. How's especially after a win for you guys?
Yeah, week is a long time in footy, I'll tell you. We played the second bottom team last week and were really disappointing and lost. And then we played the second top team on the weekend, who were a powerhouse, and they never got close to us. So, yeah, a week's a long time. So feeling a lot better this Monday than I was last Monday, put it
Than you
that
were
way.
last Monday.
Lucky
Beautiful.
we got you on this week and not last week. Hey,
yeah.
Absolutely.
no,
So-
that's awesome.
So did all the boys lift the ladies? Say did they?
I think that's what it was, mate. Absolutely. Yeah, all the netballers and women's footy players were there, so they all performed.
They
So
all got up.
yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, for those that don't know and haven't seen our socials this week, Michael is the senior coach for Murrumbeena Football Club. Took them to a Division 2 premiership last year after playing the year before, I believe, from memory. And they're up in Division 1 now. And yeah, we'll just sort of go through a few questions and whatnot and take it away from there.
Absolutely.
Do you want to start, Egi?
Beautiful. Well, I see Murrumbeena has their own Will Hayes now. I know it's not the Collingwood rookie, but is it the ex-Carlton midfielder Will Hayes?
No, it's not. It's not. But he's pretty bloody handy actually. He's got the nickname down at the footy club, the Nightmare or the Career Killer. Because about 4 games in a row he played on Jack Loney from St Kilda.
Yep.
The next week he played on a bloke Jack Ferraro who's down at Casey VFL list, and then the next week a kid was meant to go in the mid-season draft, Tonner from Narry Warren, and he held them all to about 8 touches and 1 goal. So he's stopping blokes from going up to VFL or AFL football at the moment. So
beautiful. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's unreal. That's really cool. So is he your tagger, or did you just?
He's our best back. Yeah, he plays on all the medium and small backs.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool. How tall is he?
He's about 6'1", very rangy, but very strong still. So he was originally a wingman and playing a lot of reserves football at another club. When I brought him across, put him into the back line, and he's been phenomenal ever since. He's a real competitor and a dream to coach, to be honest.
That's unreal, man. And this has sort of gone off a little bit where we're going, but that's what happens when you're in a conversation. So what made you move him from the wing to the half back line?
Probably just the body type. Just because he was quick on his feet, he was very competitive, and we're just struggling. It's very hard to find those roles. No one wants to be a back pocket anymore. Everyone wants to be a midfielder, a full forward, a half forward, but no one wants to go back and defend.
Everyone wants to kick goals.
That's right. So yeah, just throw him back for a bit of a challenge to him on some good players, and he just thrived, and I think he just loves it now. So
that's unreal, mate. That's so good.
Yep. No, it's funny when you get to senior footy, it's a bit different. In juniors, everyone sort of plays every position now. They try and develop them, but when you get to senior football, guys are 22, 23, you might coach them for the first time, but I'm a midfielder or I am a half back, but then you watch them, and it's a really hard thing to navigate with young guys to get them to change position. But it's one of the challenges and joys, I guess.
Do you find once you put them into that different role and they've played it a few times and they actually see that they're better at it, that they come around?
As long as they see the benefits, yeah. It's
it is a team sport after all.
Yeah.
Egi, do you want to keep going with your part that you've got?
All right, beautiful. I was just looking through some of the stats over the week. So I saw Edward Standish has got 26 goals and 5 best ons, 7 against St. Paul's on the weekend. I also saw, sorry if I butchered this name, but Stephen Tollings, and he's got 9 goals from just 4 games. So he's looking pretty promising.
Yeah, they're both our power forwards. Big Stevie, he's coming to the end of his career. It's his last year this year, and he did his hammy in the last couple of minutes of our last practice match, and he missed. And then he tried to come back early and set it back, so he's missed half the year. The poor big fella, but he's made a difference. And we got Big Ed across from Oakley in the amateurs last year, and so he's a first-year player, just finding his feet with the team, but he's phenomenal, mate. Yeah, 7 goals on the weekend, and I'll tell you what, he's one to watch when he celebrates a goal. He absolutely loves it. So he gets everyone around it,
Oh, that's good.
So,
that's huge. Yeah. You say he's finding his feet, but it looks like he's found them pretty well, pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Just figuring out your teammates, their abilities and stuff. As a forward, you're reliant, so if you lead too far away from someone, they can't quite kick that far. All of those things take a few weeks to get used to, As a forward, you need to know all of your teammates really well. So it is a bit of a challenge coming to a new team. So he's only going to get better. So
that's
hopefully
great.
doubles
great
that.
Great pick. Hopefully long term too.
Yeah, and I love the homework as well, Egi.
Thank you. I got a bit more.
He's a guru.
I went through the best ones. I saw Pat Bannister's got 6, and we spoke about William Hayes of 4 on 6. Also got Harrigan. Sorry if I mispronounced his last name. Lagustis,
yep.
There we are. Is on 5. Will Smith's on 5. Nathan Scolo's on 5, and the goal kicker Ed Standish on 5. With Mitch Birchie's on 5. Is there anyone else you think should be worth a mention?
Probably Sammy Michael, our captain. Probably don't put him in there as much as I should, but he's probably right up there in the BNF. But yeah, a lot of those guys that you mentioned, they've all played like senior VFL footy, and all of them are still really young. So it's they're pretty exciting when we get going. But Paddy Bannister,
keep them together.
Paddy Bannister in the best all the time. He's a line breaker and really exciting. Just tries to take on everyone. He's got like the rugby, sidestep, and he just breaks from the inside to the out so quickly. It's good to watch.
Gets into
I have
the
to get
clear.
down there and watch another game. So I think we went down. I can't remember who you were playing. Went down there one Saturday night after when North Melbourne were taking on Sydney. We went down and watched a few quarters. It was pretty good.
We did, yeah. So that was first night game of the season. I've got a beautiful photo over the other side of the club rooms. We didn't come over to the. We did come over to the club rooms.
Yeah, we
actually.
did. Yeah, because they're having sponsors day upstairs or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was when we played East Brighton, and it was our first game in Divi 1. It was a bit of a shell shock because, rolling into the forward line, they had Tom Lamb, Ben Reed, and Alex Keith all roll into their forward 50, all three blokes with AFL experience, all 6'6".
Yeah.
We're looking up a bit, and they educated us a little bit on that day. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
Do you play them again, or have you played them since?
We played them again. We were a bit better when we played them, but they got us again. Yeah, they're our bogey team. They were down in Divi 2 the year before as well, and they were the only ones we couldn't quite crack. So yeah, there's a bit of a healthy rivalry there.
Oh,
That's good. That's really good. I watched their Brighton Juniors a couple of weeks ago against my little cousins play for Oakley, and I could see a mini Del Santo running around.
Yeah.
Not that mini compared to the other boys though, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But he was great, even just at junior level. So there's a lot of junior kids coming through at a lot of clubs now. With participation that's increased. So there's a lot to look forward to from a senior level of all this development that's coming through.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a really strong junior club as well, which is pretty handy. So it's always good to get involved, and you sort of see, now I feel old now speaking like this, but like I still remember going down and helping the under 14s or 13, 10 years ago, and you watch these guys now and some of them are absolute stars, and it's funny to see some kids develop at different rates, but the level of information out there now, I feel like all the junior coaches are getting a lot better as well, which obviously makes it a lot better as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you guys held a little clinic on the weekend where I think the senior players got down to the club and got involved with some of the Oz kickers. Is that right?
Yeah, we always get the guys down to Auskick at least once or twice a year, and they love it because then all the Oz kickers know their names and they really get down and get around them, and then we have them play at halftime and stuff. So it's always a good fun, the community side of things.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's like the mini AFL.
Yeah, 100%.
Any questions from you, Todd? Do you want to take over from here?
Yeah, I can go. Who would you say is the most improved for your club this season?
Well, yeah, we came from Divi 3 a couple of seasons ago. I was a playing assistant coach. So we went Divi 3, Divi 2, Divi 1 over 3 years. And they're enormous jumps. We have two blokes, Josh Sednich and Tom Rigby, who are both in Divi 3, and they're pretty good players. And their form in Divi 1 this year is probably better than their form was in Divi 3. So they've improved year after year. And as we go up in level, they keep growing and growing. So they've been ultra impressive.
That's fantastic.
Flying along. So down country footy, we just get one divvy down here. You got twos and ones. That's all we get over here.
That's it. No, it makes it pretty lopsided, doesn't it, down in the bush sometimes?
Oh, yeah, it does sometimes.
Teams and, yeah,
you get your good teams, the Yamby and Seymour and that, and then you get your average ones where they're just plotting along. After your premiership win last year, did you lose any key players to other clubs?
Yeah, we lost a handful moving up the divisions, and when people see you have success, they come after your players, and there's big money rolling around in a lot of local footy now.
there is.
Especially games that can gate off, charge gate and entry, they can really make a lot, and a lot of clubs in Glenora aren't associated with their junior club from a financial perspective, so that way all the money stays there. But if you go down to Essendon or Western, a lot of these, and even the country clubs, they're all one club financially. So they might actually bolster the senior club a lot more. So the senior club might not be as healthy as what it reflects. So it's hard to compete with some of these big money offers. So we lost quite a few. I think on the weekend we had either 6 or 7 from my granny team playing. Wow. So it was a huge turnover, which has made it pretty challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it
Is
hard to
that
get
due to
going
injuries
again.
as well?
Yeah, a handful of injuries as well. So the ones we did keep on, we've had pretty bad luck with injury this year, which isn't what you want when you go up a division, but it happens, part of footy.
Good exposure for the other boys.
Yep.
You got a couple for him, Tassie?
Yeah. So in saying that, with the injuries and losing a fair few of those players, or having only 7 or 8 available, would you say that that's had a pretty big impact? Currently sitting in 8th spot as a club, or do you think that's kind of where you're earmarked?
Was that because of the whole stepping up a Division 2 that wouldn't help either?
No, 100%. So like I think it's 15 years since the last team came up from Division 2 and made finals in Div 1.
Oh wow.
And then like two or 3 years ago, Cranbourne came in from another league. So they're a really strong club. And then Narre Warren came in this year. So you've added like 2 really strong clubs, and then that against us. We just wanted to stay up. So our list was modelled to finish somewhere between 6th and 9th, but play a lot of kids for that, that natural like growth. And so far, like it's probably a successful year. But we've probably lost a couple we could have won as well. So like I think the team has surprised us at times with how good they can be, but just that consistency and that injury, you have to scrape everything back. All your game plan becomes a lot more simple. You really can't evolve things until people get continuity with each other as well. So like it becomes really basic in a lot of ways, and you're really like scratching for wins, just focusing on really contested footy and maybe just clearances, territory, and you can't really add much else. So it does change the way you coach, and just you got to coach to the players you've got in front of you. And if a lot of them haven't played a lot of senior football, you can't get too complex either.
It'd be very challenging from your side.
Yeah, it is. And when people are constantly changing, you're changing roles and you're trying to fill holes. So you got to reaffirm what role they're playing, and what success looks like in that role. And you might have a handful of first game players, and then on the weekend I think we had 6 kids still eligible to play under 19s, and about 8 or 9 21 or under.
Wow.
So when you're doing that, you can't get ultra complicated with what you're trying to do at times. You can probably tailor that to a few people, but it does become hard to get really connected. And like, when you have so many injuries, I think we had 38 players play so far. So people are learning each other's names still at round 6, 7, 8. So it is a challenge,
It does make it tough, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Next question, because we come up with questions obviously beforehand, so we could be a little bit prepared and seem like we're professional, even though we're not. So you moved from being a player into coaching, or you were a playing coach the year before. What surprised you about the off-field side of running a footy club or coaching a footy team?
Yeah, so it was probably during COVID. I retired at the end of COVID, and then a mate of mine, I tried to convince him to come and coach the club because I saw they were going really poorly in COVID. They dropped down. So he took the role and said, yeah, as long as you be my playing assistant. So I sort of got pretty heavily involved in the background at that time. And it was probably a good separation in the COVID time because as a player, you're very insular in your thinking. It's just about you, how you performed. You don't see anything else. Like as a young guy, you're pretty oblivious, and you're only worrying about yourself. So then when you become a coach, there's so many other factors that are going into it, and you see everyone volunteering. You get a lot more empathy for other people, and also become a bit more humble and appreciative of all the volunteers who through the years were washing your jumpers or cutting up oranges, or physios or volunteers. A lot of people probably think that a lot of people at footy club get paid, but there's really not many at all, if any.
Does, yeah, most are volunteers.
Yeah, and it is a good thing to be a part of because you do make some pretty good connections, and hindsight's a beautiful thing. But as a player, you wish you just had like that little bit more hindsight of what was really important. Probably would have helped you with success as well as a player, I think. So.
Absolutely, and volunteers are the backbone of every club in the country. And how are you finding the volunteer space? Like, do you still? I know when I used to play footy, it was really hard to get players to volunteer. Is it still the same these days?
Oh, it is. It is because, like I said, they're probably a bit naive and insular, but I don't think we have like a selfish group. I think we've got a pretty good group. So all we have to do is tell them, hey, you're on the bar at 12 o'clock, and they're there. You just tell them though. You can never ask like, "Hey guys, we need volunteers," and then they
you just
someone else.
Gotta make them.
Yeah. So we start to do a bit of a roster and all that, but the bulk does go down to a lot of the committee members and stuff. But because we do we have the biggest club in the Southern in our league for numbers, it's a lot of work to do at times, and it's a blessing to have that many people. But unless they're organised, get the roster out early and stuff like that, then anyone who falls through, it falls back on them. So it can be pretty taxing, I think, for them. Yeah.
Absolutely. I know a lot of the people at your club in the background as well, and you guys do an amazing job.
Thanks,
you
mate.
really do. And the club is very welcoming and warm. So it's one of my favorite clubs to walk into. I shouldn't be biased, but at this stage I am. So
I think free beers next home game by the sounds of things.
Last question that I've got is about you. So what goals do you have for your future with footy, whether that be coaching or what is it?
Yeah, so I've actually resigned from coaching at the end of this year. I 4 years at the same club and where I played, I thought it was probably enough. Probably needed a fresh voice and got them up to Divi 1, and I've handed them over to a really good coach who's my assistant this year. So a bit of a succession plan, a bit of Buckley Malthouse type action. So
Yeah.
hopefully it works out better than that. But
As long as it's not Clarko and Mitchell.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, nothing like that, I hope. But yeah, so I'm hoping to take something with less hours, less contact hours, because being a senior coach is probably 25 to 30 hours a week. It is like a really big job if you want to do it right. So maybe something in the coach league or VFL, but it's more set hours,
Yep.
So something along those lines as an assistant for a few years, and then maybe jump back into it later on in life. Yeah.
Do you have like a drive to sort of coach a VFL team or try and get into AFL or anything?
Probably not AFL. Like I think it's a pretty hard caper to get into because it is all ex-players, and realistically, the people who start at the bottom, like the money probably isn't good enough to leave your day job. Like you have to, like Chris Fagan would probably be the exception to go down that route. And there's not a huge amount of room in the soft cap for part-time coaches anymore. So there's probably not that nice medium for people to dip their toe in the water and support AFL clubs. But like VFL clubs now as well, probably the same. I think most of them are full-time now.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a commitment. So you probably got to change careers. And then obviously, as you guys know, being in the space, coaches don't always have a lot of job security, It's a results-driven
not
industry.
guaranteed for very long if you're not performing.
No, that's it. So it's a big risk to roll down that route, but I'd love to be involved as an assistant coach at somewhere like, Sandringham or something like that, who's really close and local, or even be involved in like Dragons where you develop kids. That they're pretty good and pretty enticing sort of roles, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, mate. That's look, that's all the questions I had. Were anything further from you two boys?
Nah, but in thinking that, I think I have seen you can get franchises for like school holiday programs for like coaching kids and stuff like that, which is sort of one way to do an income way stream for it. But yeah, we'll look more into that anyway.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
No, I like it. That's good. No, that would be pretty fulfilling as well. Like whenever I run the Auskick programs, it is good fun. But the kids always have a funny thing. Like whenever I go down to local footy, they always kick it over my head as far as they can. That's the game they play. So all I do is I run to the fence, run back. Yeah. I'm like, geez, this is like doing pre-season training.
Oh, that's great. It's like, I retired years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've had enough of running.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Look, Mick, really appreciate you jumping on. I know how busy your schedule is working full time and coaching. But yeah, really appreciate the time that you've put aside to come on.
No, thanks for having me, guys, and loving your work. So keep it up.
No, thanks, mate. It's a pleasure to have you.
If you want to check out the Murrumbeena Football Club, all the links are down in the description below. So just make sure to check them out.
Oh, actually,
thanks,
Mick, before you do go, 2 seconds. We are running a giveaway at the moment. I don't know if you've seen it. So we're giving away a signed St Kilda jersey. Anyone that subscribes to the channel, once we hit 600 subscribers, we're going to be giving it away to a lucky subscriber. So anyone you know who's a Saint supporter, tell them to get
pass on the word.
I'll put in the players chat tonight.
Yeah, they can sell the jersey. We don't care.
Love that.
Yeah, they can do what they want.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.
Get our view back to the other. That was awesome. That was really good.
No, it was good. Yeah, good insight into local footy or District 1 footy in the city.
Division 1.
Division 1. Whatever you call it. We've got 1s and 2s down here. That's it.
We forgot our other questions, our prediction questions. That's all right.
Oh, that's all right. I think we got enough out of him. We didn't hold him up too much longer.
Nah, that's good.
No, it was fantastic. We'd probably ask him who would win the premiership. He'd say Murrumbeena. So
Murrumbeena, that's it.
That was great. You got a really good insight to running a senior coach.
Oh, I did have one question for him. Did he want to go down and coach Carlton?
I was thinking that, but he said he didn't want to go to AFL.
Because
we'll keep moving,
Carlton,
guys.
apparently.
It's already 10 to 8, but we are up to your controversial call, Moisty.
Oh, I had a different one lined up, but with our interview going along, I'll keep it quick because I've had this one in the chamber for a while. I was going to wait till last round to do this one, but I'll do it now. I think the Brownlow needs a rework, guys. I think we need to rank the top 15 players on the ground, 15 to 1, and do a count that way. The 3-2-1 doesn't work. Dacos is going to be nowhere near it this year because too many players taking votes off him.
I don't know what you're talking about. I reckon Josh Dacos is going to win it.
Yeah, Josh, that's what I mean. Josh, Mick, side bottom, those sorts of players. Then you've got Gold Coast, Anderson Rao. You've got Libba, Bont, Mini Bont, like the best player in the comp's not winning the Brownlow. Last year, you could argue it was Cripps, but I think Cripps was just the best in the worst team. I don't know if he was the best player last year.
He was the best in the league. You shut your mouth.
I don't think he was, but I think
He
the
was miles
Brownlow
in front.
needs, and this is my controversial. I think we need to do a 15-1 or a 20-1 and just rank every player on the ground, maybe, or top 20 players on the ground. I reckon that'll get a fairer outcome at the end of the year. The 3-2-1's not working.
They break the Brownlow record by round 3.
Oh well, obviously we're gonna change the Brownlow record though, but like Cripps getting the most votes, he only got the most votes because there was no one else in that team competing with him.
That is
not a terrible
controversial
call. That is
a
the
controversial
right call.
call.
Let's change the Brownlow. Let's make it proper. But I suppose we've already got that though with the Coaches Award. That's pretty much what the Coaches Award is, and the Coaches Award normally gets it pretty right.
This is true. This is true. And a lot of people rate the Coaches Award more than the Brownlow.
Yes,
internally.
Oh, I rate it more than Brownlow too. I
Me
reckon
too.
it's better than the Charlie because it's a lot more accurate, and the coaches see the ground better than the umpires do.
Yeah.
They see the game, and they understand. Oh, this can be another one. They understand the game better than the umpires do.
They also understand the roles of individual players and what they're supposed to be doing.
So the defender could hold someone scoreless, get 4 touches, and they get 8 votes because they've done more for the game than the 30 possessions in the midfield.
Exactly. All right. Good controversial.
Tanner, Cripps, week off, 3 votes. I agree with that.
All right. Number 5. Woo Girls Wow.
Woo Girls Wowie, my favourite segment. Get in there.
I don't think I was meant to say number 5.
Since we had a special guest, I'll make this short and sweet. More a statement than a discussion. But Carlton, if you don't want your coach, don't bother turning up on Friday. He had his head on the chopping board last week, and not one player showed up for him. So I want to see a bit more trying to win the game for him. But I reckon no one turned up last week.
I agree with
you, Carlton.
And I'm going to put this question to you, because I put it to Baggers podcast as well. When I've got to go listen to their response and how they answered it. They were who we had on as guests early in the season. Basically, should Carlton sack Voss? Should they keep Voss, sack the board, or sack both, or keep both?
Yeah, you've left one out there.
What?
Keep everyone, rebuild. That's where I'm going. I reckon your players are selfish and they don't work hard enough. I reckon a rebuild's better than sacking your board.
I'm going to go, they do need to get rid of some of the top players. However, Egi, what's your thoughts before I go into my thoughts?
Well, the top players. Well, what do you got? You got 3 out of the last Coleman medalists. You got Charlie's got 2, Harry's got 1. We got Riedering's probably the number 1 key backman, and then who else? Cripps is 2-time Brownlow medalist. Like, you can build a team around those 4.
No, I wasn't saying sack your elite players. I was saying rebuild around them.
Yeah,
you've got too much dead weight.
I think they tried to rebuild around those players earlier on in the few seasons, but I reckon the best they looked was in 2023, and then when they gave it to Brisbane in the first 3 quarters, and they lost it in the last, and that just seemed to be a going sequence for them for the last 2 seasons. So they seemed to have a great start, but then dropping the ball near the end.
Absolutely. I think what my thoughts are is that we need to. I do think a lot of the people on the board have been there far too long. I really do, and it was funny. Mick Malthouse actually come out and said that they were more focused on earning money as a business than they were about performance on the field as a football club.
Yeah.
And that's why he struggled when he was coach of the Carlton Footy Club, because they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. And other coaches have since come out and said that as well about the board. So I feel that the board do need to be moved on or refreshed, probably for a better term. I do think Voss should stay. However, if he was to stay, they need to bring him in the right support, because I thought he brought all the assistant coaches in across with him, but he didn't. He brought one guy. That's it.
And then Carlton had their sort of clicky group. So you reckon it's more of a clique like at school? It's more of a clique group.
I do, but I also think the focus is on the wrong area. They need to focus on actually winning games of football instead of what the business side's doing off the field. Yes, that's important, but the fans don't care about that.
No, they will just
If if they win games, like the fans are going to turn up.
That's right.
They're going to get the money.
That's exactly right.
Well, they're actually the second. They've got the second highest crowd attendance this year, so fans isn't the problem. They need to get the football playing well. They're going to get the fans through the gate no matter what. So focus on other areas. I'll just catch up on.
That's right.
Quickly.
Sorry, just before you do that, that's right. I feel for Voss because I actually don't think he's got as much say as what people think he does because of those around him. So mini refresh with the list. Get rid of some of the not the elite players, but that sort of mid-range, and start blooding some youth. Sorry, Moisty.
So we've got Hugh Cannon. They broke it down real well on first crack last night. They brought in a bunch of players who have underperformed.
I'll have to watch that.
The board is absolutely the issue. Bombers 2. Tiger Time, I agree. Hugh Tanner Voss has only been there for 4 seasons. If so, he made finals twice and finished 9th in 2024 too. But
the issues, he's regressed since 2023.
Yeah, but the thing, can Carlton afford to sack another coach?
No, I don't think they can.
Now, they've gone down this same path with the last 3 coaches, and it's ended the same way. So it's a different issue. It can't be the coaches. There can't be 4 coaches as bad as each other going one in after the other. There's got to be deeper issues there somewhere, and it can't be the coach. Well,
they've come out with news saying that Graham Wright, he was meant to originally take over, I think, towards the end of October. It's been brought forward. He's coming in on August 15th now.
Yeah, I did read that.
So him coming in, I think, is good. I think, there's a lot that needs to be done, but I don't think Voss is the issue because, like you said, it's a continuous trend of the same thing happening. And if it turns out that there's players that are causing the internal friction, get rid of them.
Yeah.
If you're going to Voss, go early.
Yeah.
It's always better to go early than later in the season. Go early, you can approach the coaches. You know Voss is ending, put the assistant coach in, you can approach the coach, you can pitch them all the way leading up and then give them a fresh start into rebuilding their list rather than coming and taking over when you sack Voss halfway through or start of next year, you sack him then. It's no good. He's already done what he wanted with the list again. So
yeah, fully agree.
I don't think he should be sacked, but if you're going to sack him, it needs to be now or next couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Absolutely. What have we got here? Hugh Tanner. I'm just a Michael Voss stan. I think that's meant to say fan. And a Mick Malthouse stan. Or are you talking about Eminem stan, the stalker? Artie's got here, punishment for being salary cheating like Bombers for doping. It's a curse never to be lifted. Piss off, you wheeze and poo supporter.
Well, this is true, mate. There was a bit of issues back in the day when you were cheating. We need to get onto the Cats and Collingwood about this because there's got to be something going on with these 2 clubs. They can't keep doing it.
Even Hughes put Artie's spitting bars. Well, I reckon the Cats have found a loophole where they give them a farm and they sell it off to them.
They're running out of land, though.
Yeah.
No, there's plenty of land over in Geelong.
You're going to have to start hitting up Barwon Heads and that.
Plenty of land.
And then Hugh's got here, as a Pies fan, I am invested in the Blues rebuild for some reason. I think a lot of, and Egi, you could probably tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but a lot of Collingwood fans really miss the rivalry between Carlton and Collingwood back in the days.
Yeah, I think they do too, but I think a lot of Collingwood fans are lapping it up at the moment with how their performance is going too.
Oh, they have been for 25 years.
Yeah.
Jerks.
All right, so let's get back into it. Tipping, Egi, take us away, mate.
All right.
Some good news this week.
We've got great news. We have a winner for the $220. 2020.
Yes.
After 11 rounds, it's gone up again. So we got Hoof-Hearted or Elite Lobster that are winning. Anyone else who got it didn't beat Taz, so you cannot win. So sorry, Ping, Kelzo, and Zoe.
Not sorry.
So it's up to Hoof-Hearted or Elite Lobster to reach out to us. If you don't reach out to us by Showtime
by Wednesday, I think it is.
Yeah, or Showtime on Thursday. We will be jackpotting again to $240.
You've caught my disease, Egi.
Yeah, I have. But yes, if you haven't yet joined Tippings, the link's down below. You can join in now, and so you can get the. Hopefully, you can. Yeah, there's 8 rounds left, so there's still $160 up for grabs. $250 for first place, $100 for second, and $50 for third. So yes, still over $500 to be able to give away.
And no buy round this week, so it could be $240 this week. It could be $20, but you don't have to beat anyone this week. It's just pick 9, you're in.
Yep, you
Absolutely.
are in.
Oh, you got to beat each other.
Yeah, beat each other
with a stick in a ring. No,
fight to the death.
All right, let's move along. So we're going to finish up now, guys. We've just gone over time. However, what a show. That was awesome.
That was good. I really enjoyed that guest. Very knowledgeable about football,
Oh,
which is
it
what
was.
we
I
like
reckon
to
we
see on
should-
here.
We should get more of them in.
Yeah, more footy fans on here instead of don't know. I loved it. I didn't know where I was going with that. I was waiting for someone to talk over me so I could stop talking.
Next week,
no one come in.
Next week being the first Monday of the month, we've got another guest on in Big Footy _Tigercast. So look him up on YouTube. We haven't got the links yet, but we'll send those through throughout the week. So keep an eye on our socials as you always do. Anything else from you two, gents?
Remember, the St Kilda Guarantee's up for grabs. Once we get the 600 subscribers, so if you haven't yet, subscribe to YouTube.
That's it.
We're on
And tell your
123
mates,
at the
get
moment.
everyone in there.
Yeah, get everyone in there.
Also, don't forget to minimize the video and like it if you haven't already. When I said pre-show before the show, said that. That would be great when our voices were going. We didn't know. That's it.
That's the wrap,
That's it.
people. Thanks everyone for stopping by.
This Thursday, I think Todd can't make it. I can't make it. So
Now it's going to be Egi and maybe a special guest.
Yeah, so hopefully I'm reaching out to Kelso and Turtle. If you're watching, maybe you can step up and join in. If not, anyone else reach out and might want to hop on.
Absolutely. And if anyone's got any guest suggestions, send them through, and I'm happy to reach out to people. I'm loving. I'm actually enjoying that. I'm meeting a lot of people by doing it.
Well,
I've got
one
Michael
actually.
Voss, please, does he? Can we
Oh,
get
yeah.
Michael Voss on
Michael
here,
Voss.
please?
I think Blake Mitchell was in chat earlier. I'll be interested to speak to. He's got a card. What's it call it? Like a card thing on YouTube as well. But his partner in crime that does that with him is an ex-umpire for the Div 1 in the Mornington Peninsula League. So I'd like to hear some of his thoughts being an umpire as well.
Yeah, 100%. That'd be incredible.
Yep.
You've got
Absolutely.
a few past umpire here, boys. We don't need to speak to one. I am one.
We want a good one. All right, let's hope the next few days for everyone is explosive.
Let's hope so. Cheers all.
There you
Just
go.
not on the toilet.